Hello everyone, we are the Ball. I'm Jingyu.
And I'm Brielle.
And our two other teammates are Joy and Simon. We propose a virtual networking solution to fight violence against women during lockdown in the Global South. Our solution targets sustainable development goals dealing with gender equality, justice, good health, and partnerships between different sectors. Our solution contains two major networking platforms, group chats on popular communication apps, and a blog site. With information learned from the blog site, we can perform data analysis to identify common attitudes and beliefs about violence against women. Next slide, please. In our case, the communication app we'll use as a demonstration is WhatsApp. First of all, we want to group people together by their community. That can be their housing community, buildings, village, or any organization or associations that people are belonging to. Then a community leader is going to create a group chat on WhatsApp as a way to gather their community members together and engage bystander intervention. Functions of this group chat include educating group members on how to protect themselves, recognizing signs of violence, and knowing who they can go to in an emergency. The members will also get updates about local COVID cases and news to engage the community member and encourage more people to join. There will be at least 3 major contacts in the group chat as shown in the slide, including the community leader, of course, a counselor, and a volunteer from local non-governmental organization or NGO. The 3 major contacts are in the chat to make sure people, especially women, are getting the resources they need, and the communication in the group chat is going in a positive direction. The community leader is there to get everyone involved, and the NGO volunteer is going to share useful tips to encourage bystander actions. And the counselor is responsible for listening to survivors on a private communication channel, comforting them and providing them the information and resources they need for mental health support. In order to recruit members, the community leader is going to send the QR code of the group chat through both email and WhatsApp to their community members to advertise the existence of the group chat. In case people do not feel safe or unable to talk to any of the officers, we will also incorporate a silent help center for anonymous confidential text messages. These messages will go to a trained WhatsApp employee on duty. I will pass on to Brielle for the next slide.
Next, what we want to do is create a blog site to encourage women to share their stories. We believe that people will be inspired by and resonate with others' accounts. We not only want to empower the survivors, but also teach both men and women about forms and signs of violence. Each week, the NGO staff member is going to send a link from the blog site into the group chat in order to refer traffic to that blog site. The blog's also going to have 3 major sections: the blogs themselves, videos, and the topic of the week, in addition to a list of local resources depending on the community. Also, every member will have the option to post or make comments anonymously in case they are not comfortable publicly sharing their stories. In addition, the blog's going to have a point collection system where for every login, comment, or post, they get like certain points, and these points can be exchanged for ebooks or UN souvenirs. Finally, for people who have posted their stories of violence on the blog site, we want to make sure we can follow up with them in case they wish to report the crime. If so, we will work with the local authorities to inform them of these incidents so that they can collect data about the alleged perpetrators. With the existing local data and the ones we're collecting from the blog site, we're going to be able to analyze different variables between the alleged perpetrators, such as marital status, education level, the region it happened in. And in case an alleged perpetrator is actually convicted, we can then compare the behavioral similarities of these perpetrators to social media use in order to identify commonalities, and then these can be used for the development of future data-based countermeasures to gender-based violence. Primarily utilizing existing tech platforms, our proposal is also relatively low cost. Initial costs include training volunteers and the creation of a blog site, with recurring costs of maintenance and data analysis. We anticipate funding from some nonprofit partners and possibly the UN as a revenue source, but we also believe we have the ability to work with private sector companies, especially ones that might have a vested interest in decreasing violence among their employees in these work from home times, or educational institutions that already wish to perform data analysis.
Overall, our proposal requires networking between local communities and different sectors to ensure every woman in the community is getting the support and resources they need. This networking is done mainly through online platforms because of the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Jingyu and Brielle, for your presentation. I'm now going to throw it over to Judge Frederica to see if she has a question for you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I have two questions for you. So one is, you sort of want to encourage participation on the blog, right? Through a point-based systems that can be traded for souvenirs, as you say. I think I also read mobile phones and some of the materials that you submitted, right? And so my first question is, like, how do you, like, are you concerned about spamming or fake posts, or how would you address that?
Yes, we did set up limits to how many points each person can get depending on that. So it's daily limits for logins or posts that actually earn points. And we also do have monitoring on these sites, where our main issue with this is that we want to make sure this is positive communications, that we aren't getting unnecessary negativity. So they are moderated and ensure that there is not only relevant content on these posts with survivors, but also that it remains a safe space for women and survivors to share their stories.
Thank you. And then if I may, a quick second question, you plan to collect data on perpetrators, right? It's sort of part of your to gain insights. Now, in your mind, what should this data be used for? What could it be used for? And then also importantly, what should it not be used for, right? And other potential sort of risks, potential harms, maybe to people who share some characteristics of perpetrators, but are not themselves perpetrators, that sort of might occur because of your approach.
Of course, we don't want to cause any stigmas. A large, for a potential benefit we were saying is, for instance, if a lot of violence is happening in this particular region, then we can go talk with the local leaders and say, hey, we really need some targeted directives in this area where we've seen a high increase in violence, and being able to use that data to target solutions while not trying to scapegoat anyone at all.